Well, hello, my beautiful stars. I hope that you're doing wonderful. Thanks for being here. Okay, we're going to do another little pick a card reading today for you. We're going to look at the good things that are coming in. So we're going to look at the area of your life or theme of where this is going to be happening, what the blessings are that you can expect, and then a little message from the universe, which could be validation maybe, or it might be advice to keep you aligned. So we'll see what comes out. We've got 3 groups for you. So these are the piles of cards, and I also put a crystal on each one. So this is group number 1, and you guys have these cards, and this is pink tourmaline. Pink tourmaline. Okay, this is group number 2's pile. And this, I don't know what the actual name of the stone is. I think when I bought it, it just said infinity stone. So I'm not entirely sure what that guy is. But that's group 2. And group number 3 is going to be this pile here. And this is citrine laser quartz. Citrine laser quartz, okay? So go ahead and pick one or more of those piles if you feel called to more. Maybe you've been a very good girl or a very good boy and the universe or Santa Claus or whoever it is bringing you many good things. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop playing with you, and we're gonna get into the reading. So your timestamps will be in the pinned comment down below, as well as the info box, so that you can skip to exactly where you want to be. So again, it's group 1, 2, and 3. Let's go. Hello, group number 1. So yeah, you're in group number 1 if you chose these decks or these cards and the pink tourmaline. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. Let's see first what theme or area of your life these good things will be affecting. Ooh, okay, so we have the Fox and the 7 of Cups in reverse with choices. Nice. Okay, this could be one of 2 things, so we're gonna have to clarify because the Fox card can talk about 2 very different things. Okay, so in one interpretation, the Fox card of the Lenormand, it actually has kind of a negative energy. It's one of like, I think there's like maybe 6 or 7 negative cards in the Lenormand. And that is when it is representative of a person of untrustworthy character, essentially. Someone who only looks out for themselves above anyone else and cannot be trusted. So it can be someone who is cunning and deceitful, someone who is a little bit of like a spy, a trickster energy at the very sort of like most innocent side. And it can talk about like trickery, theft, a trap, fraud on the more serious side. So if this is talking about someone that you cannot trust, then I feel like there is going to be some emotional clarity that comes in. And if you've had a choice whether or not to, like whether you can actually trust this person or whether you should have them in your life, then I feel like you will see very clearly whatever you need to see about that. So I don't know which way that will be. Like, I don't know if you'll see that this person is not who you thought they were for the worse, or maybe you'll see that this person, if it is a person, is out overcoming a time when they were not as honest, maybe. I'm not sure. So it could be either that, or this card can also talk about your 9-to-5 job or workplace. Not usually including like freelance or self-employment, but more so being an employee somewhere and being resourceful, creative, unconventional, and clever in regards to work and how you show up. So let's just clarify this a little bit more here and see which one it is meant to be for most of you. So Spirit, for most of my group 1 people, is the Fox representative of a person who has not been able to be trusted? No. Okay. So this is talking about Yeah, it's talking about your work. For some of you, you've been up against competition or you work in a very competitive field. You could have other employees around you that are competitive, that are kind of in that I can't trust you sort of fox energy, and that could be like a double meaning for that card in this reading. But the Nine of Cups, emotional stability in reverse with the World, ascension. Wow. Okay, well, there's a huge cycle closing, and it's something that has made you not very emotionally fulfilled, or it hasn't felt consistent. I think that there's a huge ending of something here. It's either you win out over competition, right? You're chosen over a group of people, and you are kind of compensated the way that you should be, I guess, if maybe you haven't been in the past, is what I'm seeing here. Or else you get a new position or a new job altogether, but you are very recognized for your work. And I see this being a really positive move if that is what happens. Is there anything else about the area of life here that this is about that we need to know about? No, it's a phase where you haven't been too happy, though. I feel like maybe you haven't been comfortable with the community around you, or I don't know. It's almost like you've put inspired effort or hard work into something, but it just doesn't feel like it's actually been going anywhere, or it hasn't been recognized, or you haven't gotten what you were kind of trying to achieve out of it. But that's the area of life that's going to be affected by these blessings. So that's really positive. So let's take a look at what those blessings are with these three cards here and this oracle card. The Two of Wands, planning in reverse, the Four of Swords, rest, and the Six of Swords, transition in reverse. Okay. With the Power of Place, which says calling in the spirit of place. It's interesting because this card talks about invoking continuity. So it talks about recollection, familiar places, being situated in the passage of time. And when this card comes out, it talks about yearning for a place that you can call your own, whether that is a community, a country, a home, a relationship, or even just within yourself. It's like wanting somewhere to root in, to settle, and to invest yourself in that place. So not just anywhere will do with this. The place is meant to be uniquely right for you, and it's meant to inspire you. Its atmosphere, whether that's its atmosphere, its physical features, the people that are there, whatever it is, it's something that engages your psyche and it inspires you. So wherever this place is, essentially, it makes you feel more alive there. And it kind of reflects who you are and who you're becoming. And so because there's continuity between where you are and this place, and it feels like a true connection, there's quite a bit of satisfaction that comes. And it's somewhere where you can be for some time, somewhere where it will grow to be familiar to you and memories can build over time. So for some of you, I feel like there is an actual move that's taking place here, or else you're visiting somewhere. And I feel like this is something that you did not plan for. It's like your soul has chosen a path, so you could have put out like a manifestation and said, look, I really don't want to be where I am anymore. I really want to move. But then you didn't actually start planning for a specific place. You just kind of said, Spirit, lead me or give me an opportunity that's going to be the right opportunity. I feel like if that's the case, then that's coming if you asked for that. But I don't see you stressing out about planning this. I see it kind of coming in out of nowhere when you are in a state of rest. I just want to know what this Six of Swords transition in reverse is. Tell me about that Six of Swords in reverse. Whoa. The Magician in reverse, creation. I think this is something that you've actually been wanting. but it's been up in the air. Yeah, I feel like this has been something that you've been wanting. You've been asking for it, but it hasn't come in yet. It's like there's something that needed to shift in your mind, in your way of thinking, needed to expand. And I think there's something here about understanding that the most powerful place for you to be calling this in is a space of rest and trust, like faith in the universe, that you put out that message again, that you called and you asked for spirit to like intercede on your behalf or to bring you an opportunity that would be right for you, is what that feels like. And they're basically saying that is going to happen. You don't really need to plan. This will show up for you. It's just you're meant to take the opportunity when it does come in. And this is part of the reason why it's important right now that you rest as well. But this blessing is also going to be, you're going to be somewhere where you are at rest, where you don't want to leave, and where you feel like you don't even have to manifest because everything is there. That the magic just kind of comes easily. Anything else about this Four of Swords? So this is either just a new house in the same place, or maybe this is you coming home to yourself, within yourself here, just through shifting your perspective on something, giving yourself rest, and then understanding the way forward from there. What is this Four of Swords, though? I don't know about that. Yeah, the Eight of Wands in reverse. Action. This is about, you don't need to actually, like I said, you don't need to plan. You don't need to push the energy. Nothing needs to happen here. Other than you just being in your energy that you're already in when you manifested this. Yeah, you're in a place of power. You're in leadership and dominion over yourself. So that's why you are calling this in, because you're aligned with it and you're ready for it. So Spirit's bringing that in. Yeah, so there's something here about saving your energy or just making sure that you are in a space of rest and renewal and rejuvenation, because there could be an opportunity that comes up quite suddenly and you are going to want to be rested. You are going to want to have your head on straight on your shoulders here. Is there still something mental that needs to shift here with this, or is there anything else you need to tell me about this? Six of Swords and the Magician, both in reverse. I feel like there might be something else there that wants to come out. Okay. There's been something throwing your balance off, and it is in your mind. I think it's something about, for some of you, it's something about love or just fear of rebirth in some area of your life. But I feel like this is the area that there's been major anxiety around. So it's like either not being able to be somewhere that really suits you, or not being able to be in a location that feels abundant, that, like this card was talking about, right? That it feels like home to you and it kind of complements your being. And so then you become stronger there. You become more aligned with yourself in that place, right? Spaces where we are can be very powerful. Some of you might want to look at your astrocartography as well and just see where your most prominent or abundant lines go. You could check your Jupiter, you could check your MC, you could check your Venus line. And then you probably don't want to be close to maybe your Pluto, your Mars, your Saturn, or your Chiron lines. So if you want to check that out, that might be interesting for you. But it feels like this is the area that you've been really stressed out about. And it just feels like something hasn't been manifesting, and it's something physical or tangible. So again, it's either money to be able to move or be where you really want to be, even in just in life, or it is maybe some of you want to be with another person. You want to move to be closer to them, and so you don't feel like you've been able to connect or like secure that connection. But something in your headspace was just not shifting, and you were like, is this transition ever going to happen? And I think that's part of it. I feel like the more you rest, the more peace you will have that you are taken care of, because this, I think, is what needs to actually shift, this way of thinking. Just you looking at the situation and saying, I don't understand how it's going to happen. So then you kind of get sucked into an anxiety kind of like spiral, or just the worst case scenarios maybe, or just some more negative thinking that gets in the way. Yeah, you could be thinking about memories from the past, but you're not in a scarcity mentality anymore. You were not fulfilled back then, specifically emotionally, and you didn't feel like you could have the victory that you actually wanted. And that could have been in past situations, relationships, whatever. But I feel like you get a little triggered by this not being sorted out because you have like invested into it. But it is coming. You're just not intuitively seeing it because I feel like you're focusing more on the past and like collaborations that didn't work, or things that didn't come together in the past the way you wanted them to. And that's causing you anxiety, but you're meant to kind of unlearn that. So there's shadow work that needs to be done there, where you are not defensive. You're coming from a place of generosity, knowing that you will be taken care of. Now is not then. So whatever you experienced in the past, try really hard not to bring that energy into the present or project it onto a situation that hasn't even happened yet, okay? Because I feel like you could just get in your way and create a self-fulfilling prophecy here, which you don't want to do. So let's take a look at the message from the universe. But that's what I basically see coming in for you. I think it's going to be something that happens quite easily, quite quickly. Again, they're showing me you don't need to plan or take action. This is almost like seeking you out, because there's a great cycle closing. You are ascending, and you have done a lot of work to clear things up here. But I feel like even more clarity and, again, just peace of mind and assuredness is going to come to you the more that you rest. So take very good care of your mental health at this time. This is also a great deal of masculine energy here. So you might want to temper that and be in a more receptive sort of state at this time, so that these things can actually flow into you, right? So try to assert yourself a little bit less. Assert yourself through how you're thinking about the situation, but don't overdo it, okay? Because I feel that will just throw the balance off of this manifestation. So let's see what message the universe has for you. Literally. Spirit. The Hanged Man, surrender, with the Hammer God, scepter of authority and choice. Alrighty. The Hammer God, am I right? Just kidding. Okay. Bring your hammer over anytime. So let's see. I can't with myself, you guys. I just can't. So this is why I'm single. Okay, so this talks about wise decision making. Wise and discerning decision making. So this talks about needing to make a choice regarding your own resources or activities that may be affecting a group of people. So it could be your family, your community, your work environment, friendships, but basically others could be looking to you for strength, leadership, guidance, dependability, in some way. And so with this card, it talks about examining the circumstances and the options, as well as the possible outcomes of those actions. Maybe you need to wait for more information to come through and be patient in order to form a discernible pattern and make a choice, right? But this is talking about an auspicious opportunity to better your circumstances and the circumstances of those who you might be responsible for or connected to. But yeah, it talks about being successful and having the support and esteem of those around you. So with the Hanged Man, this is Neptunian energy, surrender. I feel like there's a lot that is going to be made clear to you at this time. And again, it's very much an energy of rest. You might be feeling quite sleepy actually with that Neptunian energy. And if that's the case, try not to beat yourself up, but try to give yourself as much of that as possible. Some of you are manifesting in your dream state as well, or things are being cleared up for you in your dream state, like you're doing energy work in the astral or something. But there's just a lot of indication that when you are resting, when you're surrendered, when you're still with yourself and you are patiently waiting for the discernment to make a clear choice, right? Then you will know when this opportunity comes to you exactly what you need to do. And I feel like you might be trading in something that's been emotionally unstable for something that you know immediately is really going to level you up. So tell me more if there is more to say here about any advice or messages for group 1 before I let them go. But yeah, you're kind of just meant to roll with the punches here, go with the flow. I mean, yeah, all you really need to get sure on is your internal state of harmony and balance and like what feels good to you. And make sure your mind is in a good place, nice and sharp, your body is rested, because then you will have that discernment to see clearly when something comes to you. Okay, you'll be able to feel if it's right. Okay, I don't think that there's anything else. So yeah, this isn't something that's actually going to take a whole bunch of ambition or efficiency. It's more a spirit or an energy of adventure. I feel like that you're meant to take here on this path. So that's what I'm seeing for you, group number 1. I love you so very much. I hope that you're doing well. And I think I'm going to leave it there. So I will talk to you next time. Until then, I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Bye. Hi, group number 2. Okay, so you guys chose the Infinity Stone or whatever this is. And these are your cards. So let's take a look. We're going to start with the area of your life or the theme of this blessing and just kind of see where it might be hitting you to narrow things down. And then we'll look at the blessings themselves. So the area. Ooh, the Tower in reverse and the bouquet. Okay. Okay. That's an interesting combination because the Tower can talk about shocking events. And it's interesting because the bouquet in the Lenormand deck talks about, it can talk about a surprise. It doesn't have to be though. And with the Tower in reverse, maybe it's not actually going to be much of a surprise, but this is basically a card of joy, contentment, and gifts that may represent things that make you feel good or assure you that all is well. So it can be a gift of appreciation, beauty, happiness, something that brings pleasure, something that is charming, but it's very positive energy. And again, it could be for you guys, I feel like with the Tower in reverse, this is something that is, maybe it's an area where you've been worried that everything's not going to be okay. So like, let's just say this is a relationship, right? For instance. And you've been feeling distant or your partner has been working a lot more, or there's just been less time for you to really connect intimately together and feel as though you're kind of like on the same page, you know what I mean? And so maybe you've been a little bit worried that everything's not going as well as it used to. Things might be feeling a little bit different or more tense between you. This would be like your partner coming home with food to make a homemade meal, you know, flowers, and I don't know, just something like a playlist that they made and you guys are just kind of making a meal, laughing in the kitchen, dancing together. And it's like this little surprise. Like it doesn't even have to be something huge, right? But this is just an example. And then, you know, you feel good. And because of the action taken, that sense of beauty and appreciation and pleasure kind of permeates through the situation and assures you that everything is okay. So it's kind of like blocking potentially a spiral into anxiety or worry when this comes through. So that could be any area of your life though. Can you tell me more about the Tower in reverse here? What is this that's being avoided? The Knight of Swords. That feels like someone exiting. Yeah, exiting the situation, the Hermit. This is what's being avoided. So I think that, like, to me, this looks like someone being like, I need to be alone and I'm out of here, you know, an exit stage left. Most likely because they were unhappy and in a state of internal conflict and tension because of their own indecision. This person might be someone who tends to cut off things or opportunities or relationships that reflect back to them, the places where they are not healed or where they're not in touch with themselves. But I do actually feel like they are seeing that they've chosen a path that has kept them a little bit stuck, a little bit ambivalent maybe. Let me see. Is this another person that's dealing with group 2 though in every situation here? I just want to double check that that's not also something else. Yeah, it is that. Okay. This is something or someone, right, that you felt out in the cold with. Could be someone that you've been on a break with, or someone that kind of said, I need some space to myself to think about things. It feels like they're coming back in the energy of the 4 of Wands, wanting to celebrate, wanting to actually give in a balanced and reciprocal way, and wanting to show you how much they care. It feels like they're having a moment of reflection here, and it is allowing them to be real with themselves and let down their defenses and then move away from the past. There's something that caused them a lot of grief. Okay, let's look at what the actual blessings are here. This is quite interesting to me though. Okay, so these 3 cards at the bottom. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, the 8 of Cups, and the Page of Wands in reverse. I love it, guys. There's love here. This is definitely about a relationship. I mean, we already clarified that, but it says inner journey is the oracle card as well that's clarifying this. With the Hermit too, there is something where everything has not been exactly as it has seemed with someone. I feel like this is someone that holds a lot in. They're quite internal and they maybe don't trust or share all that much. So you may not have known the full extent of what this person was going through, and why they were so tempted to just kind of cut and run. You could have just felt the distance between the 2 of you and known that something was up that felt a little bit unsettling to you. But I feel like this is that person. They're coming in full-fledged love. And the thing is that the blessing is that they're coming in the Queen of Cups energy, which is unconditional love, when before they were about to choose the 8 of Cups and the Page of Wands in reverse, or you were thinking you might have to walk away because this person, it's like they didn't have any hope. They didn't have any energy. For that reason, things just were feeling so heavy and weighed down. And you may have been trying to extend love or lightness to this person to help them. You know what I mean? But I feel that this person was also projecting onto you, because this card talks about basically not all who wander are lost, and how sometimes we're so consumed with our own personal journey that we can project our journey onto another. And we can, be like, my lessons are their lessons. My life is similar to theirs, but there is a different journey or path for all of us. So this talks about not judging another person's journey and being able to respect where they are at on their path. Not insisting that they come to where you are, but just staying in your own healing vibration, offering acceptance without judgment. And it feels like you've given that to this person, and it has actually caused quite a big shift in them internally, whether you've seen this already or not. So maybe the reason this isn't such a huge surprise is because you have been pouring into this person and you know that they've been going through something, but it could just be that you weren't seeing that they were actually like responding to the love that you were giving them or the support. Maybe they were very jaded or shut down, just depressed, or, it feels just closed off and kind of cold energy. So maybe that's the part you weren't expecting them to come around necessarily, but it feels like they're having some sort of big breakthrough here in their own personal journey. Can you tell me about this Queen of Cups? The Hierophant in reverse. They had to unlearn something. They had to unlearn their defenses, their defensiveness. Yeah, this was something that they learned in the past, and they don't want to show up this way anymore. They want to offer actual love, and they are going to do that. So this person has been committed to something. They've been committed to staying defensive. They've been committed to not giving it their all out of fear. But this has actually been keeping them very unhappy, it feels like. So you've been nurturing this person or giving them grace or just holding radical space for them without judgment. And it's having a very big impact on this person. You're not healing them, but you're showing them their insecurities, where they're uncomfortable with receiving good things. And you're creating a safe space that allows them to take a leap into something that they determine is a good thing, is something that they would rather commit to love rather than burning things down to the ground or just bailing. So yeah, you're a very important part on this person's path. They could have strong Virgo or Taurus in their chart. This is also Mars, so that would be Scorpio and Aries. Tell me about this Page of Wands in reverse. I think that this person, they've been through a lot of cycles where like everyone always leaves them. They think that it's love, and then they don't see the higher perspective when they get into it. So maybe this is someone who's been in lots of karmic relationships, and it's like they haven't seen things clearly. And so they feel as though love never lasts, love always leaves, or something like this. And they're kind of always ready, like with one foot out the door because of that, almost to like leave before they are left. But this is because of the past. And it's caused them to look out onto their horizon with fear and insecurity that they're not enough, feeling like they're not actually going to get what they want, even if it's so close, even if it's like just out of reach. They've struggled to have hope. So this is what's changing, is that they're coming in a drastically different energy than what they have been functioning under. Yeah, they've had a choice to make to change some of their old ways that have been really imbalanced, I feel like, and keeping them in that space of kind of, I'm hearing lethargy. So maybe this person's just been, I'm getting like a very heavy energy from them. Like they definitely needed to, they needed to enter into this space of like looking within, so that they could close a big cycle that has to do with breaking away from something that's been heavy and oppressive and unfulfilling for them, very based on fear. And then they're going to decide to take a leap into something new. And I feel like it's because they have very clear feelings and intentions after they do this, looking in on themselves, introspection. They see that something is not just a house of cards, or something is clear and they can trust it. And I feel like they're seeing you as the Empress here, which is an abundant energy, a loving energy, the energy of Venus. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing for that. So let's take a look at the message from the universe to close things off for you. So final message here, what they want you to know. The Three of Cups and slow but steady. This is such a clear message for you guys. Very clear. The Three of Cups talks about reconciliation. It talks about something being resolved. And then there's celebration. This is happening. It's happening very slowly, but it is happening steadily. So yeah, with this Taurus energy being what needs to be flipped, it's saying that it's like a very fixed, well, Taurus is fixed earth, right? So it's the slowest moving, it's the hardest to get moving once it is like very settled and has its roots down. But once it decides that it's going to, it's kind of like a frickin' like earthquake, right? So it's almost like things are slow and steady until they're not. I also just noticed this is 3. This is also a number 3. Yeah, so is the Empress. So there's 333 here. Might be significant to you. There's also number 35, well, which is an 8, and then we have the 8 of Cups. So that may also be significant. 8, 8, and 3, 3, 3. But yeah, this is very, very clear. So something has been happening. It's just taking, I feel like, some time for things to shift. So this does talk about not rushing the situation, and that divine timing and our timing is not the same. So it's like when you try to speed up a life experience, a project, or a relationship, you circumvent necessary experiences or lessons or maybe karma that needs to be worked through along the way that contribute to the perfect outcome of that situation. So wherever you are in this situation, know that it is the perfect place for you to be. And if this place is causing you anxiety, then you're meant to look within and ask yourself why that is. What are your fears surrounding this perceived delay in getting what you want? What is the absolute worst that could happen? And would you die? Would you die though? And what is the best that can happen? What if you removed the words best and worst altogether, or right and wrong, and you just let things unfold at their own pace without attaching judgment? There's definitely something here about not attaching judgment and being quite gentle with both yourself, the situation, and this person specifically. I feel like you're in a good place, so just keep yourself balanced here. But yeah, this person is coming around, but they're really taking their time, and it's for a reason. They're seeking answers. They're doing shadow work. They're having this revelation, but they're also uprooting a way of being that they've been quite committed to. Even though it hasn't been bringing them happiness, it's made them feel safe. And it's only now that the offer of great love is tempting them enough to go within, clear things up, face their own fears, and then instead of walking away in a hopeless energy, come around to reconcile something from a place of an open and renewed heart space, which is really beautiful. So is there anything else you want to say about this 3 of Cups and the slow but steady energy for group 2 before I let them go? This wants to come out. Yeah. That's why it can't be rushed. It's the 5 of Cups in reverse. This person is purging grief, old grief. I don't feel like this is from you. I feel like they are still slowly but steadily having to go back through old situations, the things that caused them to shut down their heart initially. So that's why it's a slow but steady process, because it just can't be sped up unless you want that to not really be integrated, in which case I feel like their fears and insecurities would flare up again in the future, and then they might just abandon or betray you. So this is definitely the way that things are meant to go and the timing that things are meant to unfold with this. And this doesn't have to be a romantic partner. Keep that in mind as well. This can be someone coming back around, that like a family member that you've been estranged from, or a friend that you had a falling out with, or something like that. But whoever it is, they're coming back, and they come bearing gifts, even if the gifts are like presence, clear emotional expression, and intimacy. It's just like what they weren't offering before, they're coming back with. And they're giving it generously and openly. They're taking an all or nothing leap instead of keeping one foot out the door to be safe. It looks like this person is ready to invest in connection in a meaningful way with you. And it's because they've done healing, but I think they've also done a lot of that healing because of the love and the non-judgment, the radical acceptance that you've been offering them. Love really can heal anything. But I do feel there's an element of divine timing that it's maybe been a little frustrating for both people here. So just continue to give it time, but this is definitely coming in for you. Okay, group 2? I love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. And yeah, I'm going to let you go for now, but I'll talk to you guys again very soon, okay? Bye, my loves. Hello, group number 3. All right, babes. Babes, let's get into it. Thanks for being here. Happy Capricorn full moon vibes as well. So let's see. We're going to look at what theme or area of life these blessings are going to be hitting you first. And then we'll look at the blessings themselves or the good things and get a message from the universe at the end to close things off, okay? So let's see what area of life is being affected. Aww, this is so cute. I love it. The Page of Cups with the ring from the Lenormand deck. What a beautiful combination. For some of you, you are getting into a relationship, 100%. The ring can talk about marriage, obviously, the obvious implication, but it really stands for all types of contracts and partnerships, honestly. It represents a binding promise, and what is being pledged is seen in the surrounding cards. So with the Page of Cups, this talks about love. It talks about the pure part of your heart. It can also talk about creativity, though. Some of you are trying to have a child as well, maybe trying to get pregnant, because that is like kind of a contract or an agreement or a commitment, right? And this can represent a child. But the ring talks about contracts, union, commitment, connections. It can talk about engagement, marriage, like I said, but it's a promise, a tangible, consistent, or grounded relationship or partnership to something or someone. But like I said, I feel that with this Page of Cups, there's a very good chance for some of you that this is a romantic relationship. I'm getting mostly that, or a creative endeavor here that is really exciting, like really, really lights you up. So let's get a little bit more information on that. Let's see. Tell me more about this ring and Page of Cups, the area that these good things are coming in for group 3, the World. Wow. This signifies the closure of a huge cycle that has felt really heavy, the coming together of something here. So it could be that you're meeting someone new, and let's say you're just coming out of a cycle of like really karmic relationships or patterning that maybe followed your like an unhealthy attachment style or something like that. And then you've done the work and you're closing out that cycle, and then something really beautiful and pure, grounded and committed comes through, just as an example, right? Tell me more about the World. But this is also coming through as like a promise that stands the test of time, because the World talks about like the whole, really all of life. It's the last card of the major arcana. The Four of Swords. Yeah, there could have been emotional confusion or just like anxiety or overthinking of the mind that was maybe, it could have been draining your energy a little bit, not gonna lie. Maybe even making you a little bit paranoid about a choice or a path that you're choosing not being the right one. You could have been in a bit of a state of indecision. But I feel like you've been in an energy of love, and you're getting your justice. You are getting the love that you are giving back returned to you. So whether that is from someone that you're already in a connection with, that where things haven't been working, or they haven't been putting in the effort, or they have not been making the like investment to be truly committed in a consistent kind of way, or this is someone totally new after a long cycle, like I said before. So that's beautiful. Okay, so let's see more about these blessings or these good things. The High Priestess, the Call, which is the Judgment card, and the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, something is solidifying. What oracle card do we have? Realization. Realization. So we have 2 4s here as the only cards that are not a court card or a major arcana card. So 4s might be significant for you, but 4 is a number of stability. It's a number of foundation and creating something that you can build on. So I think that that's just another sign that Spirit is basically saying, whatever this is, intuitively, you've been told that something is meant to be on your path, or someone is meant to be on your path, or maybe someone has been told that, someone that's coming towards you. Maybe they intuitively know that you're part of their path, and this is them wanting to create something solid. I feel like it is a realization that's happening though. Let's see. Is this realization and intuitive knowing primarily coming from the person that is dealing with group number 3? No. Okay. So is it coming from group number 3? No. I think this is someone that you don't know. It's something that you don't see though. Oh, I see why they were... Okay, I worded that strangely. I kind of asked like where the realization is coming from, not who the realization is coming to. Let me try that again, because it does matter how you state when you're asking something with tarot. It definitely does make a difference in regards to how they answer you. So let me just see. Okay, who is this realization coming to that is stirring their intuitive insight surrounding something that has not been solid, that wants to be transformed? Because this is Piscean energy, but it's the energy of the moon, and this is Plutonian energy. So this is something that is like a deep insecurity, fear, or, you know, point of shame, or something that's in the unconscious. It's a deep place though with Pluto and the moon. And it's like the realization is coming up from that incredibly deep place. And I think that's allowing for peace of mind and the closure of an old cycle. Okay, so who is this realization coming to? Is this realization coming to the same person that is offering group number 3 a commitment? Yes, okay. But look at the bottom of the deck, the King of Fire, or the King of Wands in reverse. I think that this is someone who has not been in dominion. Yeah, they had to let go of something. 10 of Swords in reverse. They've been very attracted and drawn to you though. But I think that there's something here about them not feeling confident or like enough of a leader, or maybe just not enough for you. There's something that happened to them in the past that it kind of took them down a couple notches here. Beat them down a peg or two. They haven't been feeling like themselves while they've been dropping that, but they also haven't walked away from you. They've kind of just been grieving, and so I feel like they've been a little disconnected from their heart, and things haven't felt as solid, like they haven't been able to actually invest or cooperate in building something with you up until this point. So this could be someone that they took a leap into something with you, but then they haven't really been giving, like they've been kind of holding back, if that makes sense. And I think it's because they do want it, but it's like once they got into it, they maybe got triggered or realized, like once they got a little closer to you, they maybe got triggered or realized there's still some fear and things they needed to sort through or release. And I think this person has done that now, which has allowed them to come to this realization. Tell me more about the High Priestess and the Call. What does this person know intuitively, or what is the realization that they're going to come to? Let's see. The Hanged Man, they're having some sort of, they're seeing something from a higher perspective. There is really strong Piscean energy here between these 3 cards. This is Neptune, Pisces ruler. This person's definitely going to come in and communicate to you that something stressed them out. It tempted them, but it also made them feel like they couldn't invest. It made them feel like something was heavy. And I don't know what that was. I think that was a projection of their own internal state. I don't really think that's anything you were doing. I think that this person has experienced maybe connections with people that were not happy in the past. And so they sought to manipulate or control, or they were codependent in some sort of way. That doesn't even have to be just in romantic relationships. It can be anywhere. Tell me about this Four of Pentacles here. Yeah, they want to put down a solid base with you. They want to build a solid foundation. And it's because they see this going quite far with you. I think this is someone who is zooming out. They maybe have been very in the details, but they haven't been able to have this like broader perspective and realization because of that. So there's some sort of peace that's being gained that allows them to close out an old cycle. And I think that with the closure of that, they gain some deep perspective and peace. And then their intuition can speak very clearly and come through strong and tell them, like, yes, this thing is meant to be on your path. It's meant to bring security, stability, and joy to your life. It's meant to feel good. It's meant to be part of your path forward or your legacy, maybe. Tell me about this Four of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles. The Page of Earth. They're still moving relatively slow. This could be someone that also kind of like wants to have a family with you. Like they want a child, perhaps. Tell me more about this Page of Pentacles. Is this the person that's coming in here having a realization? Yes, it is. They're moving slow because of the past. They're still undecided about how they see the past. It feels like there's been something that has been released that was very heavy, but it's almost that this person wonders if, along with the weight of that, if something more was lost, like if the depth of love or connection or the potential to move forwards was lost. So this could be someone that something has happened between the two of you where, I don't know, maybe that Ten of Swords did have something to do with you. This could be someone who maybe betrayed you or deceived you in some way or caused you pain. It could have been mutual pain between you. Maybe you've been on a break. Maybe you've broken up. But regardless, or maybe things have just been a little choppy, you know, or non-committal. But in the past, this person has been very on the fence. And it's because they've been in their own head, but they have not taken that leap of faith. They needed to become in dominion over their own mind. And I'm seeing that that has happened. Now they're able to be vulnerable and speak their truth. Yeah. So let's take a look here at the message from the universe and what they want to kind of leave you with here. Wow. The King of Cups. Really strong Scorpionic energy now because Pluto and then this is Scorpio. With gratitude. What? That's really sweet. I actually love that so much. Okay, sorry, but that's just so precious. The energy of that. I'm loving that. Okay. So this is the last quarter moon card of gratitude. And it talks about just being where you are and being thankful for that, being in the present, being in the now. Gratitude raises your vibration. And this also talks about not being surrounded by too many negative people because life is conspiring in your favor. So turn your attention joyfully towards what it is that you desire and what you're already grateful for. But in terms of the lunar cycle, when we enter the last quarter moon, the energy starts to shift towards surrender and release. So it's about letting go of what you don't need anymore and paying attention to what you have right in front of you. But whether that is considered positive or negative, whether that is something that you'll ultimately let go of or focus on having gratitude for. So the attention and the focus allows you to discern and be grateful for all of it, even the things that you are letting go of, because you're gaining wisdom from those things as well. So that's what I see. If there is a story or a narrative you've been telling yourself about everything going wrong or life never works out, I never get what I want, gratitude will balance that out and even tip the scales to the positive for you. So yeah, this person's perspective is shifting, but you both maybe had started to kind of like lose hope or lose faith, just because I feel like, I don't know, there's pain, there's something that needed to be healed and released. It could have been an indecision though about whether or not something was even able to be healed. Do you know what I mean? Whether you could come out of a state of ambivalence or disappointment, because I feel like there has been disappointment in the past here between you two. And you've been at a crossroads, and I feel like there hasn't been movement. Even though you both wanted to move towards something, and there has been very, very, very heavy emotion. Can't state enough how much emotion there is here. It's like there was that piece missing, that higher realization that then cleared out all the mental gunk and all of the uncertainty and maybe mistrust or hesitation, even paranoia based on the past. And it allows you and this person to tune into your true discernment, your intuition, see things quite clearly. Like, this is my path. This is what resonates and aligns with me. This was the purpose for maybe the way that things went in the past, because something did need to happen a certain way. Because there's evolution here from the Page to the King. And I also saw the 10 of Cups popping out at the bottom of the deck with the 2 of Cups. I've actually seen all of the 2s as I'm shuffling through, and then there's also 4s here. So 4s and 2s might be significant for you specifically. Okay. Is there anything else about this King of Cups and gratitude that you want to share? I think this is also about being grateful for the depths and capacity of your own heart, your own ability to feel. And it's tied in with this gratitude because it's like, you know, the sensitive, they do suffer more, but they also experience all of life more deeply, right? They have more intense joy because they are open to the full range of emotion, and they also hurt more because of that. There's something here where you're seeing maybe that a certain situation, it allowed for quite a bit of emotional maturity, higher emotional intelligence. Yeah. Anything else about this King of Cups? This is also like, be grateful for the transformation and the evolution that someone else has gone through here, is also coming through. Like, don't, it's basically saying trust the work that they've done. So don't, like, if they come in and they're like wearing their heart on their sleeve and speaking from a place of like actually opening up and sharing where they maybe wouldn't have before, try not to come at them with an energy of mistrust or like skepticism because of the way that they've been in the past. Okay, try to just, again, be in the present moment now and see what a gift it is that they are able to show up and offer you openness, truth, and honesty at this point in time. Yeah, the 6 of Wands in reverse, the 10 of Pentacles, and Justice in reverse. My goodness. I feel like there was a great deal of focus on like the practical and maybe even on finances or like what is traditional before coming together. I feel like someone maybe didn't realize that the most important thing is the feelings, like the heart space, and then you form a connection and you build from there, right? But you have to know first that you want to bring that you're drawn to bringing yourselves together in a deeper way, or else it can be difficult to, like, before you form that connection and that trust and acknowledge that you work well together, that you genuinely care and consider each other, right? Care for and consider each other. It can be difficult to have faith that something will be successful, that you're building with someone, because that's just not there yet. And so I feel like there has been, like I said, some form of injustice in this connection at some point. So why did this come out, Spirit? Is there anything, like any advice? Is there anything that needs to be done about this? Or was that just sort of background information for context? Is there anything they need to actually do about this? No, you don't need to make any moves. Look at what's on the bottom of the deck. You don't need to make any moves. This is coming to you. And damn, is it gorgeous. Damn, is it gorgeous. Yeah, they're like, under the moon is that you literally don't have to actually put any work in. You can just, you know, do your thing. And I feel like this is coming through to you because I think that you've already done the work here. So maybe you've already had a realization about this connection. Maybe you are already in a space of gratitude about it, or you are working towards that. And it could be that this person, like even if you weren't together with this person, right? You could have, for instance, broken up and not even been in contact with them. But maybe, for example, you were still doing your shadow work or healing and releasing the situation, coming back to a place of self-love. So you had already like kind of started moving towards that energy of gratitude. So that could be another reason why they're highlighting, like, try to trust when this person comes in. Try to, you know, you can still, obviously you don't need to open up right away, like in a huge sort of way, but try to listen to them, allow them to actually speak or show you maybe what they've turned into here or how they've evolved. Like give them a chance to kind of show you before you make assumptions, perhaps. If this is someone that you're interested in forgiving and, you know, but I'm seeing that if this is your reading, I feel like you're already in the process of, you're either already feeling grateful for the situation, but that could mean that you've already kind of created some closure surrounding it. So that might be why Spirit is like, there's the potential for you to be like, no, no, you know, like I want to stay sitting pretty where I am because I've already come so far and I'm at peace with this. And if that is what you feel, then by all means, you know, you don't have to let this person in or commit to them, but this is just something that's being highlighted as something that is good or positive that's coming towards you. So you can still choose what you want to do with it. But that is what I am seeing for you, group number 3. I love you so much. I think this is beautiful. And I think it's lovely that it's showing that both people have really done work. So even if you don't end up coming back together with this person, I think that there's the potential to have a grounding conversation here that clears things up and maybe even helps you find final closure for something. But I am seeing that there's a beautiful new commitment or union coming towards you in the near future here. So that's something for sure to look forward to, my loves. All right, stay safe and well until we speak again, which will be sooner rather than later. And I will talk to you then. Bye, group 3.